After a 2-year hiatus, largely due to the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic, the much anticipated Denbigh Agricultural, Industrial and Food Show is slated to be back this year, July 30 through to August 1. Starting as far back as 1953, the Denbigh Show, so named because of the 29 hectares of land in Mapin, Clarendon on which it is held, is a 3-day affair where farmers from near and far showcase their finest agricultural produce, prized animals, and horticultural displays. The Denbigh Agricultural, Industrial and Food Show is also where a lot of our young people are introduced to and gain interest into the world of rearing animals and growing crops. One very important group that is always in attendance at these shows is the Small Ruminants Association of Jamaica, the SRAJ. The SRAJ is a non-governmental organization that represents the goat and sheep breeders island-wide. It, along with the Cattle Breeders Society of Jamaica, is responsible for stocking farms and ensuring that the animals are at their optimum for meat and milk production. What really is the role of the SRAJ at the annual affair? Mr. Trevor Bernard, president of the SRAJ, explains.
We are here mainly to lobby the government. As you know, this is an NGO. Everybody within the association are, volunteers. We volunteer. So we represent the farmers all across this island. Now, there are a lot of things happening right now, even where you look at the importation of the animals in recent times. We are there sitting at the table, giving advice, offering the opinions of all the farmers, and we have meetings all the time so we can tell the government or tell the stakeholders what is really happening in the industry. It's an ongoing process. We are trying to get the farmers to be involved in the entire process of what is happening right here now. We are even planning a meeting with all the farmers because we want to import animals to this country. We're setting up a meeting with the government, with all the players in the market, so that the farmers can import animals into this country and have a smooth flow of this happening. The Small Ruminants Association really is working very, very hard with all the stakeholders, the feed mills, the women's group, all these organizations. We are in constant dialogue with all of them because we're trying to grow this industry, modernize the industry, and make it better and stronger, that we can offset the billions of dollars that is being sent out of this country. This industry is about over $2 billion industry, and we're talking about the meat industry here. Right now, we only produce, I think, about 15% of goat meat locally in Jamaica. We are actually importing all of this money. Can you imagine if we just keep all this money here in Jamaica? We need to push up the production. Now, the competition really has a lot to do with, all these farmers coming to showcase the genetic materials that they're having, the best animals there is. Because a lot of these farmers work hard to make sure that they are producing good looking animals with good stands, good meat production. And also there's a value added side of it, the milking, like the Nubians, and we have, other genetics here of milking breeds. We have some farmers locally who are producing milk, producing soap, lotions, and other products. So we want to showcase some of all of this that is happening here.
There has been talk among cattle farmers about displaying or competing at this year's staging of the Denbigh Show. What can you tell us about that?
In speaking to the farmers across the island, a lot of farmers are looking forward to competition. Can you imagine over this COVID period, they sit around 2 years, a lot of farmers keep getting involved, more and more farmers getting involved into farming. A lot of young people, women, they just want this bragging rights. They want to come and show that I have the best animals. This is something that has always happened. I remember years gone by, there was a farmer He came to one of the meetings and said, boy, I have about 12 or 13 ram and I cannot get sale for my animals. And I said, stop quarreling and complaining about it. Come to the Denbigh show and show your animals. You will get bragging rights if you do so. And he did so. You know what is the reality of it now? Right now, he has a list of customers waiting to get animals. He cannot supply animals to the customers. That is where it has reached now.
Very interesting, Mr. Bernard. To ensure that our viewers understand, tell us about the importance of the sheep and the goat competition.
It showcases the farmer. It highlights the farmer. The farmers now going to be able to meet customers and meet other farmers. The networking is going to happen. Cluster groups are going to become stronger because you know cluster groups in goat and sheep and rabbit rearing is very, very important because you know among the cluster groups they look at each other, they criticize each other, they talk about each other's farm and they try to compete and improve the genetics, improve their farm, and they also exchange you know ideas and you know even where health conditions and you know they can help each other. So this is something that helps cluster group and it also helps to grow the industry.
On Hill and Gully right today, we are reminiscing about the annual Denbigh Agricultural, Industrial and Food Show that is held at the Denbigh grounds in Maypen, Clarendon. The 3-day affair is a collage of entertainment, exhibitions, and the showcasing and judging of animals. A lot of farmers look forward to this aspect of the show as the winner gets the bragging rights of being champion farmer. But what do the judges look for? Mr. Patrick Roxborough, senior judge, is here to tell us just that.
Denbigh is the single most important advertising platform for any farmer in Jamaica. Judging is actually an avenue for farmers to improve their livestock, whether it be by meat production or by milk production. The key thing is to look for the animal's conformation, the capacity of the animal to bear kids, and we look for certain things in the animal. I'm going to just point out a few things. The length of the animal, one.
And we are now going to measure this and we get 35 and a half or 35.
They don't normally use the
36.
smaller. Yeah,
36.
2, the capacity of the barrel to hold feed. 3, the width of the chest. In other words, within the chest area, we have the important organs, such as the heart. So if you have an animal with a small chest, a narrow chest, it reduces the animal's ability to perform well in all cases, right? We look for the animal's stance, we look for the animal's head space to identify breed, to identify how well the animal fits into that breed profile. All these things are, and a number of other things that we look for. But at the end of the day, the farmer will leave there knowing more about what to look for in producing his animals, to produce animals which are going to bear him more kids or more lambs, because we don't want animals that are only producing 1 lamb or 1 kid per dropping. We're looking more to get up to numbers of 2 and 3 and above. So that is what we're looking for right now in terms of improvement of the animal structure that we have presently in Jamaica. And we want farmers to be able to produce enough that they can make enough money to sustain themselves.
Just how important is the judging of these animals as it pertains to the animal registry?
It is a good question. Ideally, what we want to do is to, if you look at a boar from anywhere, you must be able to identify a boar. If you look at a Nubian or an Alpine or a Toggenburg, whichever breed it is, you must know the specifications that identifies or sets aside that animal from all the other breeds. Without that, then we are going basically nowhere. We have to be able to do these things because each of these animals have their specific roles to play in our industry. We have meat, more milk, more size, more weight. Okay? So we look for these things for those specific reasons. And this is why we want to be able to identify a breed profile rather than just a goat or a sheep. It is a very important aspect of our development once we start a registry. The registry will allow us to identify breeds that have been developed here in Jamaica. In so much as those breeds came from abroad, but we have to Jamaicanize those breeds now in Jamaica, and for our farmers to be able to identify with them. It is also very important to have a registry, because a registry gives us the opportunity to track and trace animals which have been bred here in Jamaica. So we'll know the full genetic background and be able to properly identify these animals as they are bred and developed here in Jamaica.
I am a farmer and I want to display or enter my animal into the competition. How do I go about it?
All right, so first of all, we have to contact JAS. I think the fee is $200 per animal, and there's an application form that you fill out, which you have to fill out, and it has different things, the breed type and so forth of that animal. That application form is also online, and I think our website and so forth, and we've been posting it out online also on the Facebook pages and so forth. So that form is also out there. But very, very, very important, you have to get a veterinarian certificate. So you have to get a vet to check the animal. One of the things that they'll check for is maybe like seal. If an animal have seal, it can't be entered. Cuts. If an animal have a cut or have any bruise or anything like that, they won't show the animals. They won't allow you to show that animals at the show. Also, I recommend that you start grooming the animals, like shaving them, make the tails look nice, and clean up the animals and start training the animals how to walk with the rope and how to walk around, because you have to have a disciplined animal when you come to the show ring. Because remember, this is all about showing this prize animal that you have cared for all these months.
You are watching Hill and Gully Ride, and we are speaking with representatives of the Small Ruminants Association of Jamaica, the SRAJ. After its 2-year hiatus, the Denbigh Agricultural, Industrial and Food Show is set to make a comeback this year, beginning July 30 through to August 1. The SRAJ's president, Mr. Trevor Bernard, tells us of the organization's plans to better prepare itself and, by extension, the farmers of Jamaica for this year's show and beyond.
We have been trying to upgrade our Facebook page and with social media. We're trying to improve our social media stands as it is here right now. We're also developing a newsletter that we're going to post online, on our website. So there's going to be a newsletter coming along. We are working on that currently. We're trying to modernize a lot of the things that we do in terms of the structure of our organization. Also, I always encourage cluster groups. It is so important that we work in cluster groups all across this island, where we're sharing knowledge, we're sharing, our experiences, and whenever a farmer have a problem, we can all go to help him, and within our communities, we can go and help him. And, Predalasting is another big thing. Within those cluster groups, and you have a community, if you see some strange people coming inside there, you can call, you have your WhatsApp groups, which is very important. A lot of these guys have WhatsApp group. You can, WhatsApp, I see a strange car coming in the area, so that we all can just go ahead and protect each other as we go along. So this is very, very important with cluster groups. In some of our meetings, we keep insisting that we want more women to become involved, more youth and more women. This goat and sheep thing has predominantly been a man's world. But more and more we see women, and I'm getting more calls about women who want to become involved in goat and sheep rearing. And also rabbit rearing. There's quite a few women who are involved in rabbit rearing also. You know, recently we have had the importation of some animals where Case, which is the agricultural school in Portland, imported 28 animals. They were all boar animals and they just recently have landed here and they are doing well and okay so far. The government is also planning to import about 200 animals, goat and sheep. And with this importation, it is ongoing. There's procurement, and with government it's very complicated. I can't even explain to you how it takes so long, but the process is alive and well, and it is going to happen. Over 119 farmers reached out to me through a poll that we did of private individuals who want to import animals to this country. People, they want to import animals from Canada, USA, Australia, South Africa, all over the place. Now, it's not everything that can work. There are special protocols and special rules and many different things to consider in importing animals. So we are in dialogue with the government. We are going to have a meeting with all the stakeholders, meaning the government bodies are going to be there. And we are going to have the discussions. The farmers will be invited and you can have a one-to-one discussion. And the plan is to make the process easy and simple, that any farmer can import animals to this country. After 2 years of pandemic, everybody being locked away, we have a Denbigh show again. A lot of the farmers are so excited and they can't wait for it. And I went to the St. Mary's show, and when you went to that St. Mary's show the other day, like 2 months ago, you should see how much people was at this show. The excitement, I saw so much children. And I'm one of those who really excited to see young people and the young children being involved and being climatized to this livestock world, which is so important to us. So everyone, please come out to the Denbigh show. We're looking for the supports. Please partake. Please help us. If anybody want to volunteer to help us with any part of the show, remember you're all a part of this. Whether you're a member of the association or not, please come and join us and help us. Looking forward to a really productive show. Come and learn, because there's so much to learn at these shows.
Yes, folks, you are being encouraged to go out in your numbers and support, learn, and become a part of this year's staging of the Denbigh Agricultural, Industrial and Food Show. The Small Ruminants Association of Jamaica, the SRAJ, will be there to answer all your questions. Until next time, we are up the hill.
Thank you for watching Hill and Gully Ride.
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ah, yeah.